Welcome to TheoTRADE. Don Kaufman here, January 28th, 2026. Minutes after the cash close here on this Wednesday afternoon. Just a few $1 trillion in market cap that came out with earnings. Nevertheless, the S&P futures are still massively unchanged. Why? Kind of a mixed bag of goods. We're going to go through that. Like the marketplace right now almost feels like paralyzed with earnings fear. You literally have $10 trillion of earnings within a 48-hour period, including the likes, of course, of, well, let's bring it up, Microsoft. Okay, initial knee-jerk reaction, sell-side activity. It's got a little bit of a bid back under it. Anything but determined in Microsoft. When I say anything but determined, the conference call is going to happen. Things are going to get crazy. Look at this. Like as I'm actually saying it, there is movement, people, in Microsoft. And then, of course, if Microsoft doesn't do it for you, let's take a look at Meta. The initial reaction in Meta was significant. It was actually negative, and we popped back to the upside. But there's an interesting kind of facet inside of Meta right now. When I say that the marketplace is a little bit like paralyzed in fear, you're like, oh, they're unchanged. That's not the point. The point is the market in Meta is expecting almost a $50 move. Actual move right now, it's about $30. We're just well inside of what was expected. And what that does is it leaves, if you will, a bit of kind of an ambiguous nature to what trade is going to look like by tomorrow morning, because Meta and its conference call, this can actually boost the market cap into the 710 region, or it could sell right back off. It is still wide open. This is anybody's market still. And I'm saying that because we didn't rocket right to an edge of an expected move and get locked up on the edge of expected move. We're still out there in the middle of nowhere. It's anybody's race inside of Meta. Microsoft, okay, and I'm going to come back to this because it's kind of similar. Microsoft right now moving about $20 lower, but expecting about a $26 move. You think, it's not that much of a difference, okay? It's enough such that the conference call could actually dramatically change the trajectory of Microsoft. Last but not least tonight, in terms of what really matters, okay, of course, is going to be Tesla. Here's another one with a $25 expected move. Actual move here, it's up about $12, about half the expected move. We're just nowhere near it. And again, that's why you got to have a little fear about some of the order flow. And of course, everybody's, it's going to, play out positive over here. Actually, I have no idea. In Microsoft, maybe it pulls back up a little bit, but Tesla, okay, I'm a little bared up in here right now. They'll start talking about CapEx and so forth. And these conference calls, though, they're going to mean a lot. They're going to move these stocks, and that order flow is really going to shift these S&Ps in the overnight trade. Speaking of overnight trade in the S&Ps, let's kind of see how the marketplace closed on the day. I recognize that I just glossed over the entire FOMC announcement. Was there even an FOMC announcement today? Yeah, nobody cared. What did they say? Absolutely nothing. Some people were descending. They were a little bit more dovish, but Jerome Powell's a little bit more hawkish. Yada, yada, yada. And I did yada, yada over the best part. No, I mentioned the BISC. No, look, it was a nothing Fed announcement. The marketplace knew it. The other aspect I really want to bring up in terms of the SPX is looking, okay, at some of the expectations of movement. The reality, okay, last night I should say, there was about, and this is last night, because I want to give you about the perspective of the Fed, okay? With the Fed announcement today, the expected move last night was about $37. That was the expected move, again, last night, given the fact there's a Fed announcement today and the market was like, all right, we'll move about $37. But what's so interesting, okay, and I've said this time and again, earnings now means more than the Fed, because the expected move for tomorrow, okay, is $44. It's not like by much, but the marketplace literally is pricing more risk to the earnings announcements. And, in this case, rightfully so. What's the Fed going to say? Even if the Fed goes out and they go, yeah, we're going to start buying bonds. We're going to get crazy. We're going to start injecting liquidity. What are they going to do? Inject, even if it's 80 billion, okay? Even if it's 80 billion like a month, 80 billion is a drop in the bucket versus the market cap of some of these tech stocks now. Has anybody seen the size of Microsoft? The magnitude of Microsoft? Okay. Microsoft right now has about 7.5 billion shares outstanding. Okay. And it's down. Well, now it's only down about $15. As I said, that order flow is yet to play out. It's down about, $15. Keeps kind of climbing a little bit higher in here. And that magnitude of market cap, again, 7 billion shares, you move $1, it's worth $7 billion. You move $15. I mean, these are huge. There's hundreds, billions of dollars of market cap that are moving. And that's what I'm saying. That marketplace, it kind of feels like it's a little bit paralyzed right now. You got 2 stocks up, 2 stocks down. When earnings come out, what do you get? Stuck in the middle with you. Financials here, they didn't even move today. There was absolutely no movement in the energy sector. Okay, it's an absolute slop fest in here. For the most part, the market today belonged to Nvidia. And Nvidia is just a little bit of a streak. It's got a bid back under it. I wouldn't read too deeply into this. Nvidia has been trapped in a range. It's definitely towards the upper edge of that range. Okay, but Nvidia is not categorically in the earnings cycle that, of course, is going to include, the Apples and the Microsofts and Amazons and Teslas and Metas. It's not in that earnings cycle, meaning that, again, Nvidia doesn't have earnings until the end of February. Nevertheless, towards the upper edge of the range. And the marketplace today belonged to Nvidia. I mean, the market literally today was more about Nvidia than it was the FOMC. And it's wild to say that, but look, that's what you're going to get when Nvidia is almost a $5 trillion market capitalization. Now, we could talk endlessly about what you're seeing inside of the gold marketplace. Okay. This to me, I'm literally going to leave it this. The bid in gold, this is not about being long or short gold. Okay. It's about what's wrong with this picture. Okay. The marketplace in gold is up some 6%. Yeah, we could probably talk about a short squeeze. Sure, let's get crazy. Okay. It's deeper than that. Right. This is actually starting to cause, real concern on my behalf. We're talking about systematic risk to the marketplace. Silver, okay, closing at or near its all-time high. Silver, you need a new terminology for parabolic. And I was explaining this while I was live on TheoTRADE today, and I'm going to explain it to each and every one of you right here. More than earnings, the market's paralyzed with fear. More than a $5 trillion market cap in Nvidia. Deepest concern I would have about this marketplace right now, okay, would be wrapped around the fact that you have a major commodity product. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. And its 30-day volatility is beyond 100%. Can you name another liquid product in this marketplace that has 100% implied volatility? Can you? Because I can't. And I've been doing this a long time. We have now, okay, in most contexts, surpassed the insanity, if you will, of the meme stock craze. We're looking at silver like it's GameStop. It's literally become that wild. And the craziest portion of this is you realize, yeah, it's a commodity product. Okay. How this is and where this is going to play out is becoming, again, that's the name of the game. It's not, again, this is not about silver. It's not about gold. It's about what's wrong, okay, with the rest of the marketplace and the rest of the world and financials, just finance in general. When you're seeing this kind of a move into these commodity products, SLV actually trading almost 3 million contracts today. Again, SLV trading almost 3 million contracts. GLD, another well-known ETF, okay, trading 3 million contracts. Okay, we are, again, pressure is underway in here in an absolutely dramatic fashion. Okay, gold closing up literally $300. And again, those of you that have been around financial markets for a long time, as I said to you, and I'll leave you with this thought, it's much less about gold. It's much less about silver. It's about the fact that commodities can even make these types of moves. Give you one last kind of thought as I kind of wrap up this video. S&Ps at or near all-time highs. Volatility, specifically VVIX, still sitting at 100. We have a still rather high volatility, kind of high impact marketplace with problems, okay, bubbling up in that commodity marketplace. The recipe over here, it's not good. It's not good. We're looking at this point like, are there any catalysts in the near future? And when I talk about catalysts, it's going to be a government shutdowns. Put all that crap aside, okay? Be on your game right now, because to me, what it means is, and I was talking about this in the weekend update, and I'm going to reference it again. I absolutely agree that there's upside potential in the marketplace, but there is dramatic, okay, downside risk. And this is actually referred to as what we term downside convexity. So in any case, for what it's worth, some of you may have heard me say this on TheoTRADE today, but if you assign probabilities, let's get crazy. Let's say the market can trade 7,300, but to the downside, okay, could move very easily all the way down, for example, to 6,300. This is what I'm talking about, downside convexity, meaning there's upside potential versus downside risk. And even though, okay, let's assign like a probability. Let's say there's a 65% chance, okay, we're going to trade to the upside, only a 35% to the downside. But if we do go down, it's going to be big. It's going to be really dramatic, and it's going to be ugly. And that's where I think we sit with what some of the commodity products look like, with some of the risk metrics that we look like, with the movement, of course, inside of the US dollar, okay? Risk bubbling up everywhere. I know earnings have taken center stage, okay? But earnings, it's really, I know it's $10 trillion of market cap. It's incredibly important, but it still feels like sideshow Bob in comparison to, okay, to what's going on in that commodities market. Thanks everybody for joining us here at TheoTRADE. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.